Hi, it's Jan again here. We are now at number 7 video. And in number 7 video, we have to be aware a little more about how do we live the star. Now that we have had our uncovering of the path and being able to describe the path, the purpose, the planet, the people, and the practice, we should now also start thinking about, and maybe that's even a part of deepening the practice. And for that purpose, I have put in what I would call the Oneness Practice description, which actually gives us a little hint on where will it take us. And some of the things you are already using, like breathing, like meditating, like listening deep within, and so on. And there is a certain point where we would like to have God's attention or the universal attention on what we are doing, because when you get that, you also get more help to live your star or live your life according to the best way for you. And in that description, there is a connecting to source. I call it clicking to God, basically, or He will click to you when you're ready. And then basically after that, it's about how do we live in love? And you have already read the Live in Love book, and that's just giving you some potential guidance to what does it mean, and especially in chapter 4, what does it mean to live by the star? What does it mean to live life in according with who you truly are? And the live in love is kind of the first step. Then the next step is that you will get to a point where you would like to serve more than you maybe have even described in your star. I mean, some of us is fully from beginning, from our birth, completely dedicated to serving other people. And we see that, of course, related to the jobs that people have and so on. But it's also on a higher level, actually, how do I serve higher than what I can do in a job? For example, in being altruistic, serving the poorest, serving the sick, and so on. And it all comes to you at the time when you're ready for that. And then the last thing is about how do we act, no, not the last thing, sorry, number 7 of the 8 practices, is about how do I actually consciously, number 7 is how do I live in simplicity? How do I create a life where it's more simple than the way that we may experience related to the systems we are living in? And number 8 is how do you connect in oneness to everything and everyone? So those are the things that is described in the Oneness 8 practice. Right now, what I want to give you is just a little more on the depth of the star, where you have already been acquainted with the powers that we were talking about in video number 4, related to how to make self-diagnose using the star. And we met the powers of mind, heart, and so on. And that is always present for you. And you could say that it's always, at this time when we actually are creating our life, if we go the other way, we go round the clock and actually using it in that way. I'm not going to go deeper into that because it's all in the description. But what I want to share with you is also about we have to be aware of the circumstances we live under. And we always live under the 4 major things that actually is air, fire, earth, and oh my God. and water, of course. And basically, that means that we have to be aware of how we react according to those laws that actually is used in those systems and in those ways, those 4 ways. And for example, water is flowing. That means that you basically is more flowing with how the water goes without really resisting that. And in the fire, we all know that we can be upset or excited and so on. And that's where we recognize the fire in us and so on. It's all described in the description to the video, so you can dig into that there also. The last thing that I wanted to share with you is actually related to our intelligences. Because what we need to be aware of is that on each peak there is, let's call it, a major intelligence involved. I call it a intelligence that can be measured by a quotient. So our path intelligence is holistic, a holistic quotient, HQ. And the spiritual intelligence is SQ, and then EQ, and so on, so forth, into the five peaks. So when you have, like we did in the diagnose of our star earlier, when you feel that there's areas where you need to grow it, where you feel that there's something here you're not really getting, maybe the key is in digging deeper into the intelligences. And on all of these areas there is a lot of literature and so on that you can find to how to grow your different intelligences. What I would advise you is actually to also dig deeper, dig into a book or a system that is called the Enneagram, which, by the way, helped me a lot on the journey. First finding out who I really was, including the star, and then basically what does that mean for my behavior? How do I dig deeper into changing my behavior? And also on the spiritual path, what does it mean? How do you get to the next step, and so on and so forth. There is a book called The Enneagram's Wisdom, which has been written by 2 American guys. One of them is dead now. But it's a very powerful book related to people types. And of course, we cannot relate to all of the types, and sometimes we do relate to all of the types, because we need to be aware of those virtues that actually is in power in us and also around us with other people. So that's what I want to advise you to do. Last but not least, there is actually in the bottom of the description about how do you then start living this. You have now made a vision and a mission related to the star. That's your description, you could say, in the star that you have made. But how do you live it? And there is a couple of advices on how to take step by step to get moving on it, to verify it, to correct it, to recorrect it again, and so on. And you have to look at it as kind of a wheel that you're steering your life with. The star you just put into your heart and as a gyro, so that it's always there, no matter where you are, no matter what you do, and so on. And that basically gives you a sense and a feeling that it can never go too far away from what you actually have in the star. That's why it's important to always correct it if there are certain things that you find on the planet or related to the people that is not exactly as you experience it and as you want to experience it. So I think that was actually about what I wanted to talk about in this video, to give you a little more clarity on how to use it in the daily practice. And your guide will also, of course, based on the sessions you are in, where you discuss these things as well, help you to live it through, actually. That's the purpose. Is then, and also when you feel you're ready, you are more than welcome to the movement, where a lot of people that have the stars and live the stars is present, which means that there is a lot of experience that we can draw on, and that we can share, and that you can share with us, and so on. That's the whole purpose of the movement. Okay, I think that is all for me today, and I hope that you have enjoyed this video also, and I will send all my love to you.